So the performance improvements of the new Wilds update seems to be a lot bigger than I anticipated. I was curious how things were going to go, so I did some testing before the update dropped and some testing after the update. This is a pretty back alley way of testing though. I'm just using the built-in Steam overlay there for the FPS and CPU, GPU usage, keeping the exact same settings throughout each test of course. And my PC is also pretty high end as you can tell from the specs here. Everybody's favorite inclemency in the oil well basin, just trotting around the village here. It was mid 60s basically. Definitely did not feel very smooth though. This place never does. The high-res texture pack here didn't really make too much of a difference other than dipping into the 50s every now and then. Alright, now we are in the oil well basin post-update. Keeping everything the same and leaving all the new settings cranked to max as it probably would have been pre-update. And you can already see a difference that I'm now getting a very stable like mid to high 70. This actually feels quite a bit smoother on my end right now. So this is oil well basin with a high resolution texture pack and I don't really see that much of a difference, like a little bit more of a drop there. But honestly, it's like, what, 2 frames different? Even 83 there. Never hit 83 before. And then the Windwood Plains. Big open field, lots of grass, monsters moving everywhere. Yeah, this place is pretty bad for your frames. Sitting around 50 here. Not even my PC could keep up with the 60 FPS stable. Definitely not. Same story with the high-res texture pack here. Pretty normal, but would dip into the 40s on occasion. Now, what about the Windwood Plains? We are still in the 50s a little bit. We're definitely hitting 60 more often than before, though. That's for sure. Normally, I wouldn't hit 60 until I'm like away from these rampaging animals and stuff. That is definitely more stable. Now, what about with a high-resolution texture pack on? Again, not much of a difference. High-res textures on and really not much of a difference at all. They definitely did a good job with whatever the high-res texture stuff is. Gogmazios was averaging about 70, but definitely more than a few dips to the 60s here and there. This time the high-res texture pack caused me to hover around the mid-60s with only the very occasional dip into the 70, but definitely a noticeable difference here for the worse. Now let's see how much we drop down to 60 here, or if we can keep that stable 70. There's a small drop to 60. You know, we're definitely not dropping down to 60 nearly as much as before. And even when it does, it stays pretty high 60s. Time for the high-res texture pack. Will you maintain your relatively stable 70? Will you maintain it? Got the mount call. Oh, we even hit 80 there, goddamn. It really, the high-res texture pack really doesn't seem to be doing much. Like, if anything, I could bullshit myself into thinking it actually helps. Hit him with one of these. Hit him with the fancy effects. Let me like shake my camera around or something, try and get the frames to hate me. Come on. It really almost does feel better with the high-res texture pack. How the fuck does that work? So this is the Grand Hub pre-update, running around 70-ish FPS on average. Sometimes peaking its head to 80, but not for too long. High-res texture pack, of course, is definitely worse than without, but I wouldn't say it's significantly worse, just a little bit. Alright, now a quick run around the Grand Hub here. Fuck, I'm going fast, so I'm impatient. A lot of NPCs here. Taking my frames. Let's see if we have any hiccups here. Again, really seems very, very, very solid. It's probably just placebo, but I almost would say it feels like it runs better with a high-res texture pack. The only thing that would make that make sense is that Capcom, maybe they fixed something with a high-res texture pack that they didn't fix with the other textures. I don't know. But I do think these performance updates are pretty damn solid from what I've seen. Hopefully I'm not the only one though. Let me know what you think about the updates. How is the performance on your end? And happy hunting out there.